What's up, people? Welcome to another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal podcast from two dudes who are really there. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horsecow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM, Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how's it going?
Great.
All right,
Good.
we are ready. We are ready to go here. We are ready to go. So, what are we doing this week, folks? So, this week we're continuing the series that we started last month. What are we listening to this month? This will eventually help Tim and I when we need to do our end of the year list. But we wanted to. There's so much that comes out every week and every month that if you wait to the end of the year to try and catch up on all things you missed or lost, you're never going to get there. So we're kind of hoping people can get ahead of the game and maybe only be a month behind with some of the stuff they're listening to. And with what you suggest, maybe we'll suggest something to you that kind of resonates that you might want to check out. So I'm going to start with you, Tim. What's the first new album you've been listening to for the month of November?
So this came out October 27th, but when we did this episode last time, we did it before this came out. So I'm including this one in here. And this is Canada's own Flashback with Drip So Slow. So like I said, it came out on the 27th, but including it here. Fuck it. But if you're not familiar with Flashback, you need to get familiar. If you're a new metal fan, this is one of, if not the best band doing this comeback sound right now.
Yo, that album is great. It's great.
Top 10 for me. Just really good, man. They just have a flavor of their own, but you can tell that they're new metal fans. The music is new metal. I mean, we've interviewed them before, so go back in the archives, check that out. Everything they've done before this record is just as good. This one though is tops it, man. This is really good stuff.
I think this is so. I love the EP that they did. This is definitely them maturing the sound. Like they're I don't want to say comfortable in their own skin because that would imply that they weren't previously, but This is them honing in, right? They're honing their sound into something that is obviously has a nod to new metal, but I think it's great. This is one of those, I don't know what I want to listen to today. Let me put this in and then I'll figure it out from there. And then I find out listening to it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, this is an album you definitely go back right to the beginning when it's done. It's that good.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of people's lists for if you're a new metal enthusiast, this will probably be in there. If you don't know it yet, take the time right now and check it out. Album's called Drip So Slow. I mean, it's good, man.
Seriously. It's great. It's great. So for me, the first one I'm going to go with is a band that I have honestly slept on for many, many years, and now I've started to come around to it. The newest Suffocation. Hymns from the Apocrypha. So this came out, I think it was October 27th, was it? November 3rd. So that first Friday when there was like that deluge of stuff coming out. They're up there with Internal Bleeding as one of those OG slam bands, like doing slam before slam was a thing. This album though it's highly technical, which they always have been, but I think it's got a nice healthy mix of some slam parts, some thrashy parts, some truly like, breakneck metal speed stuff. And the new vocalist, I think he kind of kills it. So it was one of those, hey, I forgot this came out. Let me give a listen. And halfway through I went, shit, I'm really enjoying this. Like, oh man, what have I been doing? Like, and then I went back and listened to some of their older stuff. But yeah, this new album is great. Like if you're into stuff like Body Box, if you're into stuff like Cranium, Analepsy, any of that newer, modern, like heavier, thrashier metal, this is what you should be listening to. Because these are the people who influence the bands that I just mentioned.
Yeah, I love Suffocation. I totally fucking forgot this record came out now. Really, I want to smack myself for this one, but yeah, I actually heard this album a couple weeks before it came out, and I loved it. It had and people are gonna be like, "Whoa," but I got some Pierce from Within vibes off this record, and I think that's their best record. So I highly enjoyed this one. I'm really annoyed that I forgot it came out because that's the thing with me. Like I get advanced copies of stuff, and then I forget it came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm listening to it on the computer and then I forget to add it into Apple Music and I'm like, fuck. But I'm gonna go back to that tomorrow and give it another spin because it was really good, man.
Yeah, it's one of those you put it in and it's sneaky good. We're like, oh, it's gonna be another Suffocation album, and then you're like, wow, man, you look at it, I can't find myself looking at my speakers like, yo, this is good. Yo, this is good. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one as well. Yeah, so if you're a Tech Death Slam fan, definitely check that one out. You're 100% right on that one. I guess I'll keep it in that realm. My next one is Night Crowned with Tails. Really, really good black and death metal out of Gothenburg, Sweden. So you know what you're getting right there. As soon as I hear Sweden, Gothenburg, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. And I remember this band put out a record in like 2020, and it was decent, but this one is just it's honing the craft, man. Because this is like everything I like about black and death metal stuff. It has a lot of more of the blackened side to it. It's definitely a death metal record. The only thing I hate about it is it's so perfectly produced. It makes the blast beats sound like they're too on the grid for me, and I like when a
Okay.
blast beat is raw. I like when you can
Okay.
hear the drummer, like the drummer can play the blast beats, but he like you can hear the tiniest bit of like offbeat. You know what I mean?
Right. A little bit of rushing, a little bit of dragging, just enough that you can
Yeah.
hear it, but not enough that it throws the song off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so perfectly produced that it kind of gets annoying after like 8 songs, but really fucking good record, man. Um, One thing about it though, they sing in Swedish and English, so if you're okay with that, check it out. But like I said, the only thing I could say is the crystal clear production kind of pisses me off at times, but really good stuff. And I have always said Europeans are the best musicians ever. So and Sweden has a lot of great musicians. So
So I will actually keep it in this vein. This did not come out last month. This actually came out in March, but I have discovered this band and I've listened to this album nonstop since I discovered them. Lamp of Murmur
okay,
with Saturnian Bloodstorm. Um, the easiest way I can describe this is it's it. I 3 songs in and I thought of the first band that comes to mind is Wolves in the Throne Room,
okay,
only a little less operatic, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Not there's no I don't remember any keyboards or anything. It truly is a clean black metal album, but it's not the shit that sounds like it was recorded on, a fucking boombox playing through a tin can.
yeah.
It's well produced. It sounds fantastic. The vocals work for it, and it was one of those where I kept staring at my phone like I'm really enjoying this because black metal is not usually my thing.
Yep.
Really, really enjoyed this. Really looking forward to them playing the Decibel Metal and Beer Festival. It actually led me to buy a ticket finally. I was like, all right, I'm not missing this. Much like how was it Worm was the black metal band they were on the lineup this year. I think Lamp of Murmur is next year's.
Okay.
And they're European, so Lord knows when I'm going to get to see them again. But yeah, dude, if you like Wolves in the Throne Room, if you like that well produced black metal, this is definitely in the vein for you.
I am not the biggest fan of Wolves. I understand why people like them as much as they do. There's something about that band that I cannot get into for some reason. Like I listened
I,
to the new record and I was like, it's
I
all right.
honestly, dude, I didn't get them until I saw them live. And
Okay.
once I saw them live, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, they've been out forever. I've listened to every record they put
Mm-hmm.
out. The new one, I don't remember when it came. It might have even came out this month.
Yeah, it's an EP. Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to it on the way home from work like 3-4 days ago, or something like that. I know I listened to it last week, and it's just always been a band. I love black metal stuff, but there's something about that shit that I just like.
I
Maybe I'll
mean,
listen to it. I've seen sometimes if I'm not in the right headspace and I listen to something, I just like, and
mm-hmm.
then I go back to it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, like 156 Silence, their first record. It took me like 5 listens to be like, oh, that clicked. That's good.
Yeah, sometimes it does, and that you're poking at Tim. Part of the problem with we have so much coming out so
Yeah.
fast that unfortunately a lot of bands, if it doesn't get you in the first couple songs, you may never go back to it. And then there's stuff where you go back to it and you realize how sneaky good this stuff actually is.
Absolutely. That's kind of like the next one I'm about to talk about. That took me like 3 listens, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And I think this is a record that you should put in your Spotify right now. I'm going to tell you what it is because I think that you're going to like it. The band is called Our House, Hourhouse. It's one word. Um, so if you're in the new metal that's rappy, whiny, heavy, loaded with like bad lyrics, then this is the one for you. Super well produced. I don't want to say it's Limp Bizkit because it's not. It's like a Muir mixed with like Limp Bizkit.
Okay. Just
It's
added it.
got rapping in it. It's just loaded with all the aesthetics. Other than that, it's hard to explain. You really have to check it out. But this one caught me by surprise. I got the advance of this one sent to me, and I was just like, the cover of it, I was like, eh.
Yeah, right.
It's like one of them covers where you're like, I already know what this is gonna sound like. And then
Mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
came up on Apple as like a suggested, so I put it in there. I was like, oh, okay. I went back to it like 3 more times. I'm like, okay. Third, fourth time it clicked, and I was like, yeah, this is good. So just picture a Muir mixed with Limp Bizkit. That's pretty much what you get, and I think it's a decent record, and I think it should make this list. And I think you need to listen and tell me what you think of it.
I just added it. I will listen to it in the morning. I will listen to it in the morning.
Awesome.
So my next thing that I've been listening to that just came out recently, I think they're from Russia. It is Cranium, if you will, and their new album with the best song titles ever, Scriptures of Vicennial Defilement. So this is just
sick
straight
record.
up brutal slam, like same vein as Extermination, Dismemberment, dehumanizing Ida Train worship, all that stuff. And it's there's something to be said about the slam bands that don't take themselves too seriously and have fun with it. And these guys have fun with it. I mean, the song titles: Gurgling on Decomposed Feces, Fevid Self Dismemberment, Massive Piles of Festering Remains, Sliced, Diced, and Sodomized, Deflowered by Disembowelment. Like, it's obviously done for humor's sake.
Yeah.
It's done to be provocative and to be like edgy, but at the same time, I mean, you're not listening to the lyrics the guy's saying because he's gurgling. It's all pig squeals and gurgles, and it's breakdowns. But this is, again, we've had this conversation, for such a simple genre, it's kind of easy to fuck it up. These guys just they nail it. They get it right down the middle of this is how this genre should sound.
It's a super sick record.
Yeah.
The first track of it, there's a sound bite in it, and I want to know where it's from so bad because it's fucking crazy. I don't remember exactly what he says, but it is fucking crazy. It's definitely a serial killer or a murderer that just got caught and he's telling somebody what he did. Let's be honest here. America is obsessed with serial killing. America is obsessed with ID channel. I'm not gonna lie, I watch this shit all the time. I love that shit. So I want to know what it's from because I'm very interested. So anyone listening to this, if you're into that band and you know who that first track bite is from, fucking email us, message, something. I need to know. But yes, Jay is right. That record is fucking sick. It's slammy as hell. The production is so thick.
Yes, it's very thicker on the mid range too, which is sometimes bands hollow that out because they want to make the low end sound even heavier.
Yeah,
this is a beefy record. Yeah,
it's very beefy. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
even though the
great.
song titles, like you said, are very much made to be like that, it's a disgusting, filthy record, and I love it.
Agreed.
That is on my list as well. So we'll go to my next one then, because that was actually my next one. So, and I kind of figured you were going to say that one. So we're always going to have ones that are the same. So
yeah.
All right. So my next one these are all EPs on my next one. Alluvial with Death is But a Door.
Yo, that is really good.
Yeah, dude.
He's nice the YouTube guitar guy, right?
Yeah, he plays in Glass Casket.
Okay.
He was in The Faceless for a little bit. So nice little 3-song EP. I don't even know how to describe the band other just heavy goodness. It's fucking good, man.
It's definitely death metal, but it's very technically proficient without being a tech death band. It's not Archspire, right? Or Psychroptic. It's just a very technically proficient death metal band.
I would say it's more on the Psychroptic level, though.
Yeah, more comparable to that than Archspire. Yeah,
because Psychroptic has the technical parts. They also have the groove parts, and this is more of the groove side because, what's his name? The guitar player Wes. He's a huge Pantera fan. He was considered for the Pantera guitar thing.
Yeah, you were telling me that. Yeah.
He was considered for it because if you go on his YouTube, he has all the dime gear. He plays all the songs fucking perfectly. He's a fucking amazing guitar player, man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're into that kind of stuff, dude, go up and check Wes. His last name is spelled Hauch. I guess it's Hauch.
Yeah.
Or Hawk or something. Hawk, something like that. Either way, check his YouTube out, but check Alluvial out. Alluvial. Really fucking good 3-song EP. They have a record out before this called Sarcoma. That's really fucking good. That came out about 2 years ago, I believe. The other dude used to play in Suffocation. There's another guy. I think I
Okay.
forget what he did, but yeah. So it's X Suffocation, X Glass Casket, The Faceless. It's really good stuff, but it doesn't sound like any of them bands.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I'm glad that you heard that because that's really good stuff, man.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
All right, I think the next one when I get to it is going to be on your list as well. So,
Okay. So the next new thing I've been listening to is Cauldron,
oh
Suicide
yeah,
in the City. Uh, Definitely that they're kind of they're dead. Well, so I'm gonna try and describe it to you. Tell me if I hit it. They definitely draw some influence from that early to mid aughts metalcore, right? They definitely
yes,
draw that influence, but they do some very unique parts to it. There's some unique 156 Silence, great example, right? There's some unique flourishes what they have that this band kind of uses. There are some clean lyrical passages that actually really work. There's some more of the skronky sort of chaotic mathy stuff as well in
yeah,
certain parts. I mean, this is one where it's going to be difficult to nail it down to a genre aside of just blanket term metalcore, but there's enough hooks and interesting parts that I found myself going back and listening to this way more than I was surprised. I was surprised at how often I did.
yeah. It's a mixture of like melodic and metallic metalcore.
And they've got some competition in that vein. You've got bands like Adrian, you've got bands like A Morning Star, you've
Yeah,
got bands like Serration, you've got there's a lot of bands getting what is it? Carcosa? Is that the one? No, yeah. No?
I forget.
Balmora is what I'm
Balmora,
thinking
yeah,
of,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like there's a lot of bands hitting into that lanes, but they do it in a way that stands out and it sounds unique. So if you like, I don't know, you like Misery Signals, you like that early aughts metalcore, give this a listen. You might really enjoy it. Old, I guess Acacia Strain after post the Dead Walk. Kind of that same vein.
Yeah, a Dying Wish, Serration.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
like all
Dying
that
Wish, good call.
stuff.
Yeah.
Who's that band that's named after a Pantera song just put out a record too?
Mouth for War.
If you like Mouth for War, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, you'll enjoy that record. Yeah, great record. Didn't make my list, but yeah, great record. Next one I know is on your list. Spirit Box, The Fear of Fear.
Yeah,
Their best
yo.
material they've made to date. Her
Yeah.
her voice is just on another fucking level, dude. She makes that band. The
Yes.
guitar player, her husband, is really fucking good, man. He writes amazing riffs. But yo, dude, the way she goes from them screams to them fucking cleans is fucking outrageously talented, man.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
just
They
that to
they
me is unbelievably good stuff.
they're gonna be a band like Knocked Loose or like Turnstile, the gateway bands to bring heavier stuff that's from the heavier side of the house
They're gonna tour
in
with Sleep Token.
into Sleep Token. There are bands like that that are gonna take the heavier piece and pull it more into the mainstream because she could, like you said, she can sing. It's not just she can scream, she can actually sing. And you couple that with the songs that they write, which are they're not Beatles pattern 3 minutes and out, but they're memorable, they're hummable, if not singable. She's got a voice that they're technically proficient. I think they're going to be they're one of the bands that are going to come out of the lockdowns, like with like them and Lorna Shore
Yeah.
and even Knocked Loose. Right, they're coming out of the lockdown even stronger than ever. Limp Bizkit,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, they toured with Limp, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Still bummed we didn't get to see that show.
I know. I agree with you though, 100%. They are going to be the next big thing. Um, let's be honest here. I hate when people have to purposely go, "Oh, it's a female singer." I get it. I just did it, but I didn't do it in the way I'm saying right now. The female singer thing in metal is exploding, and it's good it is because it gets more females into metal, and that's cool. But don't just go and say, "Oh, it's just a female front of band." Yeah, it is, but that's not why I like them so
Yeah,
much.
don't. Well, nothing's worse than they're just popular because they have a chick singer. No, they
No.
actually are very talented.
Yeah, they're popular because they're
Yeah.
super fucking catchy and talented. Yeah. But yeah, I hate people that do that. It has to be like every time I hate when people interview a girl in a band. They're like, so how does it feel to be a female for shut up?
Right. Stop making a fucking big deal about it. Just let them be,
Yeah,
you know?
you know who does that? It's the people who always bitch about saying like, "Oh, you're segregating bands," but you're the people that are doing it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
stop
Just
the
stop
nonsense.
acknowledging it and just move on. Just move on.
Exactly. But yeah, super talented band. I love them. They used to be what the number 12 looks like you or no? I wrestled a bear
I
once.
wrestled a bear once.
Yeah, another great band. They put out some cool shit, but Spirit Box is on another fucking level, dude. This EP is amazing, and it might be in my top. So we'll see
Yeah.
if it makes it.
Agreed. So if we're gonna talk about shit that's kind of from left field, so I have what's the Netflix series that we both just watched? Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
So I have that show to thank for this. This is I believe I think he's French. It's a techno guy by the name of Mado,
Okay.
Madeaux. If you remember the scene where the youngest son starts the party and the acid rains down and kills everybody,
Yeah.
the techno playing in the background. I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
yo, this is fucking banging. So I went and found his last album is called Near Life Experience. It actually came out in 2022. I have been listening to this nonstop. I am an unabashed fan of Rob calls it cheesy Eurotrash techno. I don't care. I am not. I am an unabashed fan. Again, this is one of those genres where, yeah, you think it's so fucking easy to sit there with a sampler and a drum machine and make great songs. You do it.
Yeah.
But this guy, it's fucking great. It's one of those things where you put it on. I put it on when I want something to listen to. I need something in the background, but I can't. I don't. I don't want to pay attention to it, because I'm doing something else. I mean, it's four on the floor house music, but it's damn fucking good. It really is. And I have never listened. I have yet to listen to the album straight through. I always have it shuffle, and I'm always finding a new song. I'm like, yo, that song is my favorite on the album. No, no, now this one is. Yeah, it's great.
What'd you think of the show?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I liked it more than Kim did. Kim liked the last one better, Midnight Mass, about the island and the vampire. But I'm also a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan. Like I've read all of his stuff. So when the Raven shows up and the what's the story with the Cask of Amontillado and all the murders in Rue Morgue and the Telltale Heart, like all those stories, I get those Easter eggs because I've read all this stuff and I've read it enough that I remember a lot of it. But I thought, yeah, all the characters are named after characters in Poe stories. I thought it was great. I thought it was dark, like
Yeah,
really dark, but in a way where I'm sorry, Tim, there were some jump scares when he's in the house and all of a sudden the ghost appears. There were some scares where I legit threw the remote up in the air. I was like, oh. And Kim was like, well, you're knocking it off. What are you, 12? But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was
yeah.
great.
Great show. I'm glad you watched it, man.
And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I have a massive, massive crush on Carla Gugino.
Oh yeah.
I think she is like wine and she just gets better and hotter the older she gets. And
You ever
yeah,
see Jet?
Yep. Funnily enough,
Yeah.
last night I watched the movie Faster with The Rock, where he gets out of prison and he goes after the people who killed his brother. She's one of the cops in that, and I just think she's gorgeous. I do. But yeah, I thought that show was awesome. If you like horror, there's some gross out scenes, but for the most part, it's really more of a shock. Like,
Yeah, it's a mind fuck.
yeah, going through it mentally. Yeah.
On our shows to watch this month, that's one of them. There you go. That's a great fucking series. That was a great show.
Yeah. Which thanks for reminding me. I just got reminded that I have to download Monarch.
Okay, there you go. All right, while you're doing that, my next one, The Breathing Process with Toads Crone. In my opinion, one of the best bands out there doing the symphonic deathcore sound.
I completely forgot that came out. I have it flagged here, but I never listened to it. I'm going to listen to that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I absolutely fucking loved their previous record. It was in my top 10 last year. If you like deathcore with the keyboard synthy driven sound, that's not too overproduced, this is for you right here. I guess you could compare it to all them bands like Lorna Shore, stuff like that, Signs of the Swarm, all that kind of stuff. Which you can really say Signs of the Swarm because they're from the same place, Pittsburgh. But they tone it down a little bit. Where Signs of the Swarm, if you've heard that
No,
new
yeah,
record, it's
they're
fucking
way
outrageous.
they're way more slammy, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas Breathing Process definitely has the atmospheric black metal part to it. Like they're closer Worm Shepherd, right? They're
Yeah.
closer to Worm Shepherd than they would be
Yep.
to Signs of the Swarm. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, the Lorna Shore effect is beginning to be huge these days because in this EP, there's a lot of the super stretched out growl and like double kick parts that you never really heard before, but you're hearing it a lot now. And in this EP, they're starting to do it. They did it a little bit on the record before this, but this one, the effect of the Lorna Shore effect is way, way into this one. So if you like Lorna Shore, I think you should check this record out. It's an EP. It's on Unique Leader. I think it's called Toads Crone, Todeskrone. So yeah, really good stuff. I've liked this band since they first came out in like 2006. They just put out banger after banger. Jordan's one of the nicest fucking dudes ever. So
yeah, he's a great guy. When they came through Wilmington, I went down and saw that show, and I was sitting there chatting with him for a bit. Yeah,
really cool dude. Yeah, we should get him back on. So if you like that band, go back in the archives. We had Jordan on a while ago, so check that out as well.
absolutely.
Really nice dude, guitar player. He fucking shreds. I think his wife is in the band with him and shreds next to him, and I think she shreds even harder than he does.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah, that's
And if you're listening, Jordan, that is no offense to you. You shred as well, but your wife, man, girlfriend, whatever. Sorry, dude, she
Joel
shred.
Drone.
Yeah,
Yeah, we definitely gotta have
stuff.
we gotta have Jordan back on to do. I think we talked about doing an El Nino deep dive with him.
Yeah.
So we should definitely line that up for the new year. My last pick for this month is an album that I will honestly say I was quite surprised by. The Commitment to Permanence by No Cure. So this band got a lot of hype.
That's my next one. So yeah, let's talk about it.
But band got a lot of hype. So when bands get a lot of hype, there is that normal, really like, what is this? This the sound of the moment. This is well done, really aggressive hardcore, and I think they're a straight edge band. So you kind of fall. Okay, am I going to get Looking Forward, or am I going to get Earth Crisis? I actually think they're heavier than most of their contemporaries in that scene. Like it's just really, I kept listening to it and I go, oh my God, it's still No Cure. Holy shit. This is really good. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. And I know, Tim, isn't this like a compilation of some of the earlier songs and EPs and whatnot, all kind of thrown together? I think there's some of that with this, right?
I'm not sure. Adam would know that before us, but I'll tell you what, this is very angry, very mean. It's very straight edge. It's really good hardcore. And this reminds me of when I used to really like hardcore. This brings me back to when good hardcore was coming out. This is one of them bands that I think as they get bigger, it's going to be one of the bands where you go to see and the shows are going to be super violent. And not because they're promoting the violence, but just because they're so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Like they're so fucking heavy, like people are just gonna mosh their fucking asses off for this. And I think you're already kind of starting to see that, but this is gonna be that band where you're gonna go see and go, Jesus Christ, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Great band.
Agreed.
Man. I don't like much hardcore these days. I always say that. This band I like. Good stuff.
Yeah, this is on my short list of the best hardcore albums this year. This is in that top 5 for me.
Yeah, I mean it's not beating Incendiary out, but yeah. This is good stuff, right?
I was looking at my, because for those of you that this is your first time watching or whatever, Tim and I keep a running list during the year because we're always trying to figure out, like, you get to the end of the year and you're like, fuck, I forgot that came out. I was looking and I'm like, man, all this really came out this year? Like,
yep.
That's
another reason we started doing these episodes because, people message us and they go, hey, how do you know where all these bands are coming out? And how do you know all these bands? And we decided, fuck it, let's let the people know the bands they should be listening to. This is part of that. And next month you'll get our best of the year, and then as the year goes, we'll start doing this every month again because I think it's kind of fun, man.
Oh, it definitely is, and it actually forces you to go back and listen to forces you to go back and listen to some of the stuff that you might have noticed came out but never got the time to, because I mean, every year in our year-end episode we talk about the stuff that we missed. And I mean, I've got a list of 5 or 6 albums that I'm going to try and get to before we record, but I don't think I will.
Yeah, me either. So you're done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
I I have 5 singles that came out that I think people should be checking out.
Okay.
The first one is one that we personally released on our YouTube. It's Drowner with The Other Side. I mean,
Unbelievable. I'm pretty sure I'm half those listens. It's fantastic.
yeah. Really, really, really fucking great band. Great song. Fucking super proud we got to release it. And it didn't make my list because we got to release it. It made my list because it's fucking good. They're a great fucking band. Great dudes. Just I'm so fucking excited for that record, man. And yes, we've heard like 2 or 3 more of them, and they're just as good.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. Yes.
Next, Psycho Frame with The Plot to Nuke the Midwest. Just absolutely fucking disgusting stuff. I love that fucking band. Heavy, heavy, heavy shit, dude. I think we're getting a new EP the 7th of December. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
But that stuff is super fucking brutal. It's just disgusting deathcore stuff. The production on it is fucking ridiculous. Them dudes just have, him.
It's Hunter. He's just a madman. Yeah.
Him and his partner, I forget his name, but them dudes have one of the thickest productions around these days. That shit slams, dude. It's really good. Number 3, 18 Visions with Violent Surrounds. I'm assuming all of the singles they put out in the last year, excuse me, are going to be a record. They're probably just going to release it this month. I'm assuming. We were getting a new single every first of the month, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming this Friday we're going to get the whole record. I'm assuming it's just going to be all the songs. But out of all the singles they released, this is the best one in the cycle. Most of them are pretty lackluster, but this one, there's just something about this song, man. Just really good stuff. It kind of reminds me of something they would do before like ink runs out. Not it doesn't sound like Lifeless, but it has elements of that kind of stuff. If you're familiar with Lifeless and before the ink runs out and all that kind of stuff, go and check this one out because I think you're gonna be like, whoa, that's really good. Number 4, I'm very surprised you hadn't mentioned this one. Foreign Hands with Condition for a Head-On Collision.
I don't know if I've listened to that yet.
This is exactly what you would expect it to sound like with a more like refined edge. Really liking what they're doing these days. I'm pretty sure they're going to have an EP or record coming out on Sharp Tone, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is 7 Angels, 7 Plagues. This is all that stuff combined, and it's really good with a modern edge. Really good. My last one is Graphic Nature with Fractured. They just put out a new single.
Yo, that song is great.
Yeah. You already know what you're getting with them. Another band we have talked to. Go back in the archives, listen to that one. Very, very well written new metalcore stuff out of the UK. Just check them out. You won't be fucking disappointed. They put out a record in April or no, January, right?
January. It was early in the year.
Yeah, they put out a record back then that is in my top 10 right now. Dude, if you like the new metalcore stuff, and I'm saying new as in NU metalcore, it's perfect, man. Heavy stuff. It's produced well. It's got all the aesthetics you like in that kind of vein of new metal. So go check them out. But yeah, I mean, I honestly think November was kind of a slower month than usual. There was a lot of records that came out, but they're the only ones that really caught me.
There was a lot that came out considering most bands start to, I mean, it's like new movies. The dead season is between Christmas and Easter, where any movie released during that time is usually a movie that they're not really they're not sure it's really going to do well. So it's kind of just a throwaway. Usually the end of the year, most bands don't release stuff a lot because they can't turn around and tour behind it with the holidays. And yet I thought this October and this November, we got slammed. I mean, that one day was I think it was Race Trader, Fuming Mouth, and like 6 other albums at the same time.
Yeah. I have to listen to that Race Trader. I heard
it's in queue.
I heard the advance of it, and I was like, that's pretty good. But see, that's another record. When I hear the advance, I fucking forget it comes out. So it's good. There's good and bad things about an advance copy because it's like, oh, I got the record, but then I forgot it came out, and I don't listen to it anymore. So
yeah, then you forget it was totally out there until someone mentions it, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, but that was a big day. At Human Mouth, Race Trader. There's a lot of shit came out that day. So
yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, Tim?
Nah, man.
All right. So
good choices.
Thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully you found a couple bands you can listen to, a couple albums you can check out. And as we roll off the end of 2023. Once again, find us on Instagram and Twitter, newbreed_podcast, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com for all your likes, questions, comments, complaints, reservations. If you want to leave us a voicemail, 267-297-4627. We'll play it on air. So if you want to talk shit, here's your chance. And you can also find us on Facebook, bouncing around our group, and also r/new metal. So until next time, this is Jay and Tim from the New Breed Podcast saying cheers.
Later.